Now at 10, another arrest in a brawl caught on camera. Tonight, we're digging into the recent history of crime in that college area.
Also, communities across the state still trying to recover from flooding. Tonight, we'll take a look at one community's future plans to stop it from ever happening again. And
the Iowa City Public Library's Bookmobile is back for its fall schedule. The new stops and why parents and kids are excited about it.
Live from News 7 KWWL, we've got you covered. This is KWWL News at 10.
And tonight, live here at 10 o'clock, we take a look at surprising increase in crimes near the College Hill area of Cedar Falls. And good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Steele.
And I'm Abby Turpin. Thank you for joining us. 2 more arrests have been made in that massive brawl that happened just weeks ago.
The latest arrests involve David Wright and Ryder Kern, both arrested over the weekend. 4 others have already been charged with participating in a riot. That brings the total of arrests in this case alone up to 6 already.
Now, police are continuing to identify participants through video evidence. The fight occurred earlier this month. Now, this is not the first time trouble has happened on College Hill. 2 teenagers were injured during a New Year's Day shooting. Police say the individuals involved in that shooting have connections to gangs, but no one has been arrested yet in that case. We do know more security cameras and better lighting were added to the College Hill area after that shooting. Right here is some video that we're going to see. It's actually, hopefully we're going to see it from a meeting that was held right after the shooting to talk about security measures in that part of town.
And back in 2017, an 18-year-old, Alex Michael Bullerman, was shot and killed on College Hill. It was November of that year. Cedar Falls officers were called to the College Hill area just an hour before bar closing. Bullerman was lying in a backyard with a gunshot wound. He later died at the hospital, unfortunately. A second victim was also shot, wounded, treated, and released. Officials believe this incident was gang-related. No one has ever been arrested in that case, though. And just this past weekend, another shooting incident. This time, luckily, no one was injured. Cedar Falls police say there was a shooting early Saturday morning. A bullet actually struck a wall at the Hidden Valley apartment building. Now, when officers arrived from the Cedar Falls Police Department, there were some people in the area. They say those people were walking away. No arrests made.
But 3 other people in a separate incident on College Hill, well, they were not so lucky. They say that they were attacked this weekend. One man says that he and his friends were walking home when 6 men attacked them near the Biology Research Center on College Street near UNI.
I turn around and this dude's running up to me. I thought I dropped my keys or something. And all of a sudden he just punches me in the face. My lips all messed up. I'm just bleeding and my nose is all messed up. I look over, my buddy's on the ground just getting kicked by like 3 dudes.
Now, Carter told us that they do not know the people who attacked them. The Cedar Falls Police Department told us that criminal activity does tend to pick up in the spring and the fall, and things have been a little more active than normal. They say they are increasing staffing in that area.
Right now, let's break away from our news coverage momentarily to talk about a clear night out there after some drizzle and rain in other areas. A live look right now, Interstate 380 at First Avenue in Lynn County there in Cedar Rapids. Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg is back from his vacation to tell us what's on tap, rain or dry.
Well, dry as we head through the overnight hours. Had a couple of light rain showers, maybe a couple hundredths of an inch in some locations. Not everybody's seen the rain, and it didn't last very long. We'll show you an example of that a little bit later in the newscast with a pretty interesting time lapse. As for right now, we've got dry conditions across most of eastern Iowa. Still a couple of raindrops in our far eastern counties, but that'll be ending soon. There's a couple of showers to our north and west, but those will be falling apart. Temperatures are in the 60s at this hour across the state. Temperatures will be in the 70s again tomorrow and Wednesday, but a little bump up in the temperatures on Thursday into the 80s for one day. Then we're back down into the 70s. Normal high this time of year, close to 80 degrees. We're expecting below normal temperatures all the way through early next week, again, with the exception of Thursday. It's going to be a bit breezy around here for a couple of days. We'll talk about how fast that wind is going to be in just a bit.
The court has accepted former Bachelor star and Iowan Chris Soules' plea deal.
That's right. In fact, Judge Andrea Dreyer, District Court Judge, approved the deal. Chris Soules charged in April 2017 after leaving the scene of that 2017 crash that killed Kenny Mosier, a local farmer who died in the accident. Last week, Chris Soules did agree to a 2-year suspended prison sentence as well. He will be on probation for 2 years.
The Veterans Memorial Park in Trappola was vandalized over the weekend. The police department is asking the public now for help. They say that there is a cash reward for any information that can lead to an arrest. This comes just a few weeks after a cemetery was vandalized in Manchester. And we do have an update tonight about the headstones that were vandalized there.
Yeah, Oakland Cemetery says they've repaired most of the headstones there in Delaware County. They, however, still have 5 which need to be fixed. Now, they are thanking nonprofit, everyone who donated I should say all the money and time to help them with this recovery effort there at the cemetery. Now, police, though, are still looking for whomever vandalized that cemetery in Manchester.
Hero United Airlines pilot Captain Al Haynes died at a Seattle hospital early this morning at the age of 87.
You know, Captain Haynes was the pilot of United Airlines Flight 232, which crashed at Sioux City's Gateway Airport in 1989 in July. 112 people died, but 184 survived that cartwheel crash due to the piloting efforts of Captain Haynes and his crew on the DC-9 jumbo jetliner. Officials say he and his crew gave the airport 30 minutes to prepare for the crash.
I talk about 5 separate things, and I call them luck and communications, preparation, execution, and cooperation. And it's how they came together in a kind of unique way to allow us to have so many survivors from what should have been a non-survivable crash.
Truly remarkable man. Funeral services have yet to be set in stone, though. On a personal note, Rick Coleman and I did have the privilege of interviewing Captain Al Haynes on the 1-year anniversary of the 232 crash when Captain Haynes returned to Sioux City to meet many of the survivors of the crash.
Continuing coverage now, eastern Iowa's largest city continues its fight to protect against floodwaters.
Now, the Cedar Rapids Flood Control Council Committee approved those changes just today, changes to the city's overall master flood control plan.
Now, the new Czech Village levee project is finishing up. It's expected to be done by the end of this year. Now, here are some of the other changes city leaders are hoping to make, putting up more permanent structures to make preparing for flood events faster and cheaper. They're looking at putting combination walls throughout downtown near 5th and 7th Avenues.
We're going to start seeing some more moving parts. So far, we've focused on permanent levees and permanent walls. Now we're going to start seeing the Army Corps of Engineers is out for bid for a roller gate on the 16th Avenue Bridge. And then we're talking about a miter gate closure of the swings on the UP track. So we hope to have 2 gate closures going next year.
Cedar Rapids has been approved to receive $236 million from taxes through the state through a flood mitigation program. Now, so far, there has been a $5 million shortfall. The city says that financial shortfall is because the state sales tax revenue, while healthy, is growing at a slower rate than expected.
And Cedar Rapids certainly not the only Iowa community talking change these days. The city of Davenport is also considering changes near the Mississippi to ensure that it has room for some of those larger temporary flood barriers for future flooding. Remember, Davenport does not have a downtown flood wall. City officials are considering spending about $180,000 to remove 2 road dividers filled with dirt and plants to make way for larger barriers. The Quad Cities, of course, saw record flooding this spring and summer. Meanwhile, our neighbors to the west, they are seeing flooding right now. The Nebraska State Fair had to close parking today due to record-setting rainfall.
Well, new at 10, a library in one eastern Iowa city has been taking books to its readers since 2017. Now in its 3rd fall season, what started as a way to relieve parking now lets kids pick up new books at the end of the school day. KWW reporter Travis Breeze is live right now with more on the city library's bookmobile. Travis.
Abby, the Iowa City Public Library's bookmobile goes year-round, but people say as they transition from summer to fall, it's making back to school a little bit easier.
If you can't do anything else, then I like to read.
A lot of kids in Iowa City love to read. On Monday, the city's public library started bringing them books for the 3rd year in a row.
A major piece of feedback that we were getting was that parking was a limitation for a lot of folks. So then we thought a bookmobile would be able to reach out through all parts of the community. Have you read these before? No.
After a busy summer, the Bookmobile started swapping parks for schools Monday during its third fall season.
It's fun to just go after school and get books here.
One new school, Faith Academy, was added to the route this year. Others, like Grant Wood Elementary, were reinstated after a year off. Parents and kids agree the convenience can't be beat.
We were just coming off the playground, going to go home, and they were able to stop and get books, and they loved the opportunity, walked right in.
Love those Goosebumps books, huh?
Also making stops at retirement homes and supermarkets, librarian Shauna Riggins says the Bookmobile connects the community.
I'm not in it just because I love books, but I'm in it because I love working with people, and that's what I get to do on the Bookmobile.
The city's Bookmobile will be running from now until December 19th, Monday through Thursday. It's not even the only one in town, though, as Antelope Lending Library has a Bookmobile as well. You can find both of their schedules on our website, kwwl.com. Reporting live in Iowa City, Travis Breeze, News 7 KWWL.
All right, Travis, thank you. Great idea there. Now, librarians put their most popular novels on the shelves, and they say that they have something for all ages.
And I guess that we're told about the one thing you can't do on it is put a book on hold. So how about that? But you got to love Shauna's attitude there. That's fantastic. All right, for many Iowans, though, today was indeed the first day heading back to school. Look at that handsome young man right there. A look outside of Pointer Elementary School in Evansdale. Waterloo High School cheerleaders were on hand to welcome those Pointer students as they walked into their building. We heard what some of the kids had to say. It's cool.
What's your store? Great.
You're great? How come?
Because it's our first day, and my little sister is finally starting kindergarten.
That was Pointer over at Cunningham Elementary School. Students got to walk on a big red carpet for the first day back to school at Cunningham.
And be sure to tune in tomorrow, starting at 4:30 on Today in Iowa. It's a full week of back-to-school stories right here on KWWL.
Well, coming up here tonight at 10 on News 7 KWWL, new details on a multi-million-dollar Johnson & Johnson payment that they'll have to make.
And world leaders talk money and how they might be able to help the Amazon during those devastating wildfires.
This is KWWL News at 10 with Ron Steele, Abby Turpin, Storm Track 7 Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg, and Sports with Rick Coleman. We've got you covered.